Hello, hello. Happy 2018 from Litfuse and from the Litfuse Chicks. So, we wanted to start off the year on a positive note and hopefully encourage you, whether you are an author, just a writer, a publisher, a reader, a blogger, whatever you might be. And we just wanted to help you get started on the right foot this year. So, we are Litfuse Publicity Group. We're a publicity firm based in Seattle, but I am currently in a small town in Nebraska, and I have two puppies, and I love to read, obviously. And yeah, my name's Caitlin. Forgot to say that part as well. I'm the director of operations for Litfuse, and I do a lot with social media. So, and then with me, I have my colleague Audra.
Hey everybody! It's cold here in Texas, but it's not snowing. It should be snowing, it's so cold, but we're like the only place that doesn't snow right now.
It was -14 on New Year's Eve for us, and the feels like was -26.
I don't understand. I can't fathom.
I know. It was quite chilly, to be honest. So, like, they canceled New Year's Eve stuff around town because
Yeah,
it was so cold.
They did that up around Dallas and Fort Worth. It's been under 32 for like 80 hours now or something like that, which is pretty unusual.
It's chilly for Texas.
They're afraid there was going to be a little bit of rain. So, rain and cold, we do, it turns into ice and turns into a mess. So.
Yes. Well, do you guys even have, like, plows and snow trucks and stuff?
We have, like, sand trucks that, will sand or salt the roads. But that's about it. But we don't know what to do when it starts icing because we don't get that snow, we get the ice. So it just becomes a big ice skating rink.
Oh, okay. Who'da thunk? You Texans and your
and we can't
lack of preparation.
We don't know how to ice skate.
Oh, what did you say?
I said we don't know how to ice skate down here, especially in parks over bridges.
Yeah. Yep. So we are a part of Litfuse, and obviously we work remotely. So Audra's in Texas, I'm in Nebraska, and we are a full-service publicity firm specializing primarily in Christian book publications, whether that's fiction or nonfiction, but we do media relations, we do publicity tours, book promotions, author services, book publicity, social media campaigns, that sort of thing. Did I forget anything, Audra?
Online events?
Yes. Yep. Online events. We do book launch groups as well. But I've been working for Litfuse for a little more than 5 years now, and primarily my role has always been in social media. So anytime you see something posted on Facebook or Instagram or whatever it is, usually I've at least had knowledge about it if I haven't posted it myself. So I love social media. I think it's a powerful tool, and we'll be talking about that a little bit more later on. Audra, what about you?
I, by day, try to schedule radio interviews, online placements, reviews in magazines. That's been my life for almost 16 years now. And I've been with Litfuse in a couple of months. It'll be 6 years. So, been around for a long time.
Not that long.
I'm getting old.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am. I'm the old.
No, you're not. Well, we wanted to share with you guys, just start off the year with one tip from each of our respective areas of expertise. Just something that you can do to start off 2018 in the right direction for your book, whether you have a contract, whether you don't, whether you're a publisher and you just want some marketing encouragement, whatever it might be. So, Audra, do you want to start?
I will start. This when Caitlin said pick one PR tip, just one. My big one is be available. That means be available for any opportunity that comes your way, because you never know who is reading, who is watching, who is listening. That means make the time to do everything that comes your way. Don't be hard to schedule. That is a publicist's big pet peeve, or at least it is one of my big peeves. You have this baby, you have a limited window to actually promote it. There's a lot of that goes into that, especially if you are published with the traditional publisher, but you only have a small window. And remember that this won't last forever on any particular book launch, so be available. You're given the opportunity to promote your baby, take advantage of it. So that's my big thing. Do whatever comes your way.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. What if you have like a day job or something like that? Do you have any suggestions?
That does make it difficult, and that's something that I have run into with authors, and sometimes that happens. You just need to plan to see how flexible you can be for, I would say, 2 months after your book launch, especially the first month. Try to talk to your employer. Say, hey, I've got this opportunity. Talk to them in advance. Now, don't talk to them the day before your book launches. Do some planning and understand and have that conversation. It's not that you're going to have to fill all day, every day with the opportunities that come around, but do try to do what you can. You can't do everything after 4 or 5 o'clock Eastern time because most of the opportunities are going to be earlier in the day than that. But the big part, I think, with that is just planning and realizing what it takes. Have a conversation. If you are working with a publicist, kind of have a conversation about expectations. Maybe it's one of those things you can, say, take a couple of days off and try to concentrate and do a lot of things during one day and work on scheduling that way. But even in that case, plan ahead. Don't wait until the day your book launches and your publicist sends you your first interview request and say, oh, by the way, I have this day job and I can't do anything between 9 and 5. Be really honest and talk ahead of time with the people you're working with.
Yeah. What about in terms of kind of the big overview of publicity? How long should authors plan to be available? Is it, the 3 weeks before their book release and the 3 weeks after? What's kind of the bubble there?
What we do is we usually start pitching a couple of weeks before the release date, but we try to schedule everything to happen on your release date or afterwards. Just because you can pre-order a book doesn't mean people do. People want to get it in the mail immediately. And if you can't, hit that button and know that Prom's going to get it to you in 2 days, then people don't always do it that way. So we make sure that the book is available in stores, online, and such when we really want you to start doing your interviews. We start pitching a couple of weeks before, and we usually do our follow-up for 2 months after your release date. And sometimes some things can fall outside of that, where some program may not even review books for, and they may have a stack where they don't look at things for 6 months. And that happens sometimes too. But you're really looking at 2 months for your concentrated, 2 weeks before and then 2 months after for your big book launch, as far as PR is concerned.
Okay. And, 2 months in the grand scheme of life isn't really all that long either. So.
Because, 2 months ago, it's like, oh, November 3rd. Yeah, that was the day before I sprained my ankle. It doesn't seem like that long ago.
Right.
In reality, that 2 months flies. So.
Right. That's so true. you mentioned immediacy and how people kind of want things now. And I think that's so true in our world today. And that's definitely the case when it comes to social media, is that you have to be now. It's not called latergram, although people do latergrams, but it is called Instagram for a reason. It's because hopefully it is instant. So along the lines of social media, my one tip for 2018 is just to be consistent and be present on social media, and set a goal for yourself of posting at least once a day on the platforms that you want to focus on. You don't necessarily have to be on all of the platforms all the time. I think that there are some authors whose audiences live on Facebook. There are some whose audiences skew younger, and so they live on Instagram or Snapchat or something like that. So don't feel like you have to try to spread yourself too thin over every single social media platform, but pick a few, do them well, and come up with some sort of goal that you set for yourself where you are consistent and you post at least once a day. So I have a notebook where I keep track of like just kind of the overview of the month. So if there are any book holidays coming up, or if there are any book releases or any campaigns that we're starting, I make note of that in kind of the general month overview of my social media calendar. And then when it comes to actually implementing that daily social media post, at least one post, I have a calendar online where I've already outlined kind of either the theme or the topic, and those are recurring every week. So that way I'm not constantly having to scramble for new content. It's like, okay, tomorrow I know that on Instagram we are going to be posting about, one of our work desks and giving you a sneak peek of behind the scenes of how our company works. And that's consistent every week. And so that way I'm not constantly having to just feel brain dead from trying to be too creative. You still definitely want to be creative, but if you are constantly in that last minute mindset of creativity, it becomes really old really quickly. So that would be my tip, is just to be consistent, post daily, at least once, and try to come up with some sort of calendar that will help you and encourage you to do that. So yeah, that's
you said at least post once. Mm-hmm. How much is too much? Because I have seen some people that post too much. Or at least I think it's too much. I mean, like if you're doing 6 posts a day on Facebook, is that too much?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, Facebook actually kind of implemented a change in its algorithm where it encourages quality over quantity. And that didn't necessarily used to be the case 5 years ago. 5 years ago, it was all about posting as much as you could, and that's just kind of a different change nowadays. So kind of the sweet spot for a lot of business pages is you want to post at least once a day. So minimum of 1, but I would recommend maybe 3 maximum for your business page, unless you happen to have a lot of really great quality content going on. Like maybe you have 5 book releases happening from your publishing house in one day or something like that. But I would say 1 to 3 on Facebook, 3 maximum on Instagram. A lot of times, people start to get kind of bored, I would say, or just tired of seeing your content if you post too much on Instagram. And then for Twitter, you could really kind of go all out. I would say anywhere between 7 to 10 tweets a day is kind of like the maximum that I can stand usually from certain people. So I try to keep our company kind of below that threshold. But, that's kind of the rule of thumb that I follow anyways.
Well, and we'll get into this because we're going to do these videos regularly. And I saw a question pop up. I didn't get to see it all before it went away. So we'll be taking your questions and talking about some of these things later on. But in talking about how many posts to like make a day, how do you balance out being promotional versus some other things, so that like in those 6 posts that I was talking about, like everyone talks about trying to push a book, which can kind of, if you do 6 posts a day every day and they're all too book centered, that can be a turnoff. Talk about kind of how you tell people to share about a variety of different things and not make everything so salesy.
Yeah, that's so true. That is so true. Also, we had a comment from Elaine who basically was just asking what our names were.
Oh.
So, Elaine, my name's Caitlin, and then that's Audra. We did actually say our names at the beginning of the broadcast, but you probably hopped in the middle and didn't get the chance to see it. So anyways, I've popped it up here.
We can have captions. We'll give ourselves captions.
Yes. Well, there was an option to do that, but in the midst of the Facebook Liveness, I forgot to actually hit the button that shows our names. So they're up there now.
I feel special. Sorry we're buffering. Just must be internet connections in different places. But you'll be able to catch us later. You can hit the replay button later.
Yep, definitely. So
variety. Back to variety.
Yes. Variety. I do think that it is important to include variety in your social media because it gives people a sense of who you are. You are not just an author. You are not just a writer. You are not just your book. You are an actual human being with feelings and with passions that lie outside of, sitting at your computer for 8 hours a day working on your latest novel or whatever it might be. Maybe you have a day job. Maybe you volunteer somewhere or something like that. But social media is meant to be social, and that includes giving people a sense of who you are, introducing yourself to others so that they feel like they can know you. That's what being social is about. And so a lot of times, variety is a good thing, and that includes across all platforms as well. There's nothing wrong with reusing content on different platforms because you've already done the work to create that post. So why not make it go as far as it can go across those various platforms? But you might have to tweak it slightly. You might have to come up with a different photo that has a different dimension. It really just depends on how much time and resources you have to put into, diversifying yourself across all of the platforms. But if you have the time and if you have the resources to do it, definitely do it.
Hi, Vicki. Glad to have a few people joining us today.
Yes, we're so glad. Okay, I think that's pretty much it for today. We've almost hit our 20-minute limit. So if you have any other questions or topic ideas or anything like that, leave them down below. We'll be doing these once a week, and we look forward to connecting with you guys more in the future.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Thanks.